Welcome back to the Data for Good podcast. Today we are joined by Elisabeth Kant, who is the head of data science at Berlin's tech superstar SumUp. Today we'll be talking about supporting the evolution of the data scientist. We will be understanding data science and the specific talent within that, how to identify the talent, and developing data science talent as well. Great episode with a lot of insights. Please enjoy. Elisabeth, welcome and thank you for joining us on the Data for Good podcast. Today, we've got a hot topic. We're going to be talking about supporting the evolution of the data scientist. So, why have we chosen to talk about that today and why is it important?
I think thanks for having me. I think it's really important supporting the data scientists because it's first really the right thing to do. So if you have people working with you, you want to ensure that they are happy, that they can follow their growth path, that they are actually set up for success. And if you identify the right talent and you support them in their learning growth and learning journey, then you can ensure long-term happiness of the data scientist. And that obviously pays back in the end for the benefit of the company, because if you have people who are long-term committed to work with you, who are satisfied in the work, they will do a good job and contribute to the company's success.
Yeah, absolutely. And the data scientist is an even more critical position within companies than it ever has been and will continue to be so. So if we start from the beginning and strip it bare, understanding data science and data science talent, what are the core competencies that a data scientist should possess?
So I think if you're looking for a good data scientist, you're effectively like looking for a wizard, and a multifaceted wizard. So a good data scientist needs to bring a couple of important hard skills. So these are technical people. They need to know how to program and also how to deliver production-ready code. They need to be skilled in data manipulation, usually also like large volumes of data, in analyzing data and visualizing data. They need to be savvy of machine learning algorithms and advanced statistics. Moreover, we require the data scientists to bring like analytical capabilities. So they need to be able to think critically and analytically. We need them to be constructive problem solvers, being able to dive into the data, finding spots, understanding what is this telling you. A good data scientist also needs to be a domain expert. So if you're solving use cases with machine learning, the value is actually most of the value is not coming from hyperparameter selection or choosing a better algorithm or adding some more data, but it's really an understanding what is your context, bringing the right data into your context, shaping the right features to answer the questions, the business questions. So the best data scientists are the ones who are also deeply understanding the domain they're working in. Then on the soft skill side, we need people who are really curious and intrinsically motivated to know things, to push for knowledge, who are able to cooperate together in a collaborative way, who strive for business impact, and who are good at communicating at different levels, and who are flexible and resilient.
It's becoming a much more well-rounded role. Have you seen this change drastically in recent years, or has it always been this case, which is more popular and more seen?
I think what you have seen in the last years, when I started out 12 years ago, it was really an uprising term, and data science was many things. Now we see within this broad field of data science, we see a lot of more specified roles. So this started with the data engineers, maybe, and the machine learning engineers who are more responsible for deploying the models. Then we have the analysts who are doing a great job or a part of the job. Also, the data scientists used to do that. You have the machine learners, and you have the whole area of MLOps. So we see now in the evolving path, we have very much more specified roles within this broad field. And also, I think, it became increasingly important, this understanding of the domain and the understanding, really bringing the business impact and the wish to put models also into production where they really generate value.
So what triggered the kind of need for domain expertise? Data science, 10 years ago was called the sexiest job out there. It was all about the numbers. Now it's evolved. What do you think the trigger was? Why is it so important that we implement this in domain?
So I think in the beginning, when you first had this opportunity to use machine learning to solve problems, and you were starting like from a green field, right? And then also a simple algorithm with little domain expertise already improved your performance like tremendously. But once you have that in place for the incremental improvements, then this is really fundamental that you understand the domain. You need to understand the questions you are asking, also what you have seen. There's this famous number, and depending on the source, it says it's 90 or 70% of all data science projects who never make it to production, right? And obviously that is this is a really nice playground for data scientists. It's a waste of money if you don't put your stuff into production. And also here, if you can also only bring something to production which is really tied to your business needs. And here again, the domain knowledge to identify what you need to build is actually fundamentally important.
Do you think recent economic situations, money's not cheap anymore? Maybe early 20s it was. Has this kind of forced the hand of data science teams needing to be more production ready and close to the business?
So I think this need for production readiness and the emphasis on this I've seen already before when money was still cheap. But of course now with this the recent economic developments, the situation's got even tighter. So it's even more important that the data science teams can really not only bring value but demonstrate and prove the value. And in order to do and demonstrate the value, you need to understand what is the business value, and you need to understand the domain to phrase your KPIs according in alignment with the business goals.
Yeah, and you mentioned the soft skills that a data scientist should possess: curiosity, intrinsic motivation. Striving for business impact is maybe not something that was always the case, but it is right now. So tell us more about
that. The striving for business impact. Yeah, so this is, if you have someone who's just scientifically curious, they can do amazing things by exploring new algorithms. And so people who are intrinsically motivated just by this, they will be happy, they will be working, but they will not produce any measurable output in the business sense. So if a data scientist is not also motivated by the impact they are able to bring, it might be really hard for them actually to stay long term and to be encouraged to keep be in the company. But if they bring this, if they are motivated, they are able to balance actually their strive for perfection in the scientific sense with the need for delivery and the need for impact, and they will thrive, and this will be a good environment for them.
Amazing. And there's a lot of different skills there that we've broken down. How do we balance them, within a team of data scientists?
So as I said before, we are looking for the multifaceted wizard, and obviously there are unicorns out there, but usually unicorns are really rare. So you need to understand, if you look at your team, that you build your team of data scientists or data engineering, data people in a way that you have represented each of the skills. And some people will bring more from the business side, other people will bring more of the scientific rigor. And if you pair them up in a constructive way, that's a very good way to balance these skills. From a hiring approach, I think it's really fundamental that you look into diversity from different dimensions, because hiring diverse people who have different backgrounds is really enriches the discussion, and it also opens the eyes, and also my own eyes, for things I might not have seen before. So that's also a very good a very good idea to enrich and balance here. And from the maybe last from an individual growth perspective, I would always value more like growing on strength. So people bring their strength, and I encourage always more like that they should grow and build on their own strength. And then by balancing the different strengths, you get like the balanced team you need in the end.
Okay, nice. I want a question about the diversity, and when hiring for diverse people, is it something we have to take upon ourselves to understand what's missing in certain areas, or how have you approached it?
So I think if you're looking for diversity in skills, obviously you can identify yourself, and you need to identify. So if you are short on a PySpark expert, you need to hire for a PySpark expert.
Yeah.
But if it is more for the diversity, for the sake of bringing different perspectives, I think it's not necessary to have, I don't know, 2 women and 2 men and 2 under 30s and 1 over 50. That's probably not the right approach here, right? But making sure that you evaluate your own bias in hirings, that you're not, sometimes you have a natural preference for people who are very similar than you, who come with a very similar background. So examine your own biases there, and make sure that you give candidates who come from different backgrounds, who might not look familiar, or you might not be as natural and easy connect to them as you might be to someone from your own background, or someone who went to the same university, right? So be open there, and also encourage this, and encourage having your hiring, have a diverse hiring team as well. So you bring those perspectives, and be open to hire like people from totally different background. But it doesn't matter so much that you tick all the boxes in terms that you have, I don't know, a gender, a female ratio, whatever. That's probably not the point here. But the point is, bring someone who's different than the others and is willing to challenge.
Okay. And it sounds like you've had a lot of success in doing exactly that.
I hope so. So, I mean, the teams I lead are distributed over, I don't know, at least 4 different countries, 2 continents. We have also several female candidates here. So yes, I think we have a quite diverse team.
Amazing. And when we're talking about identifying data science talent, what are your kind of key indicators when trying to find potential candidates?
So I think, again, if you're looking for a multifaceted wizard, you will have like an ideal candidate in mind, and you will not find anyone in your hiring pipeline which is actually ticking all the boxes. So like the most important approach for me is, I always value like potential and attitude more than specific skills. So what does it mean? So for example, for me it's very important to look for people with passion. So they should bring like a natural passion and intrinsic motivation for whatever they're doing, right? So and you can there are different indicators for this. You can just ask, what have they done before in their job? Were they willing to go beyond somewhere? What are they telling you when they speak about past projects? You could also look if do they have a GitHub repository which is well maintained, or have they spoken in community events? So these are some indicators. So looking for people who care, like because of an intrinsic interest and curiosity, really care for the job they're doing.
Is there any questions? I mean, having engagement in community and in GitHub, are there any questions that maybe in the interview or in the process that you use to uncover their passion?
Yeah, so I mean, a good question is, tell me a situation in a past job where you were going actually beyond what was asked, because you were a situation when you were really motivated and in a flow. So you can also already learn this, and that these are usually some starting questions. And if I could get good evidence there already, then I stop. Otherwise, you can actually specifically just ask, have you ever engaged with the data science community? Have you spoken at conferences? Have you attended? What did you like about it? And what works well is, for me, is asking for really specific examples. So not for the people who are only talking nicely, but okay,
Yeah.
give me a concrete example. Why did you like that? And what did you exactly do? This is usually a good way to get to people and understand and see something of that passion.
Yeah, maybe seeing a smile on their face when they're telling the story as well. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe an indicator. So passion is one area. What other areas do you look for?
Very important is look for people like with a growth mindset, and that's what we call change resilience, because I mean this the field of data science is so fast evolving and evolving ever faster. So
Yeah,
the tool you might have used yesterday might be outdated already, and uh, what you've done yesterday might not work anymore. Also, the business requirements may change quite fast. So we are working on some model, and then the use case is not worth looking into it anymore because the strategy changed. So you need to start all over from scratch. So what you need is people who are like have this growth mindset, that they to learn like continuously. They are not intimidated by the need of introducing a new tool or learning a new algorithm, trying something out new, and also who are not too rapidly frustrated if there is the
yeah,
need for change, who are not clinging too much to the known, and who are not, there are situations without the textbook answers, right?
yeah. So passion, a bit growth mindset. Where else could we uncover the
Mm.
potential?
Yeah, so also the problem solving and the can do attitude. So there is usually data scientists, they're faced with hard problems and problems who don't have a standard answer. No one in the world has like the good answer how to do these things correctly. And maybe sometimes there are some people who have done it before, but the chance you can speak to them and figure
Yeah,
it out are quite low. So you have to figure it out by yourself. And these problems might look so big in the beginning, right? And we need people who think, okay, I can do this. We can try. We do incrementally, and if I don't know how to do this, it's not robbing me of my sleep, but it's something
no,
that maybe even motivated to try and to discuss and see out. Yeah.
nice. So there's kind of three softer skills.
Yeah.
If we go to harder skills when we're identifying talent,
Yeah. So
what would your top two be?
yeah. So I think it would be the business acumen. We already spoke about this. So
Mm,
the ability to to the ability actually to understand how a model or an algorithm or even maybe a dashboard is providing value, and how value to the overall like company goals, company's mission, and the ability to balance like the usually data scientists come with this strive for perfection. They want to do it better and better. They want to do
mm,
another iteration round, and to balance this strive for perfection with the need for delivery and impact. So that's one of the harder skills. And then of course, to be successful, you need to bring like fundamental understanding of the core concepts. So you might be able to learn a new programming language, but you should have knowledge of one and already have
yeah,
and delivered and shipped models, right? You need to have worked with data before, and you need to understand how to handle and manipulate data. You need to have some sane understanding of statistics and basic math. Otherwise, you will not be able to manage like this successfully. And so we are looking for candidates who have a solid, a fundamental education at this point, usually.
so that maybe that's like the foundation. Foundation is understanding the core concepts,
Yeah.
and then you can build on top of there the business acumen. And then once you've got those as a solid base, you've got the softer skills that will probably be more of an indicator of success.
Yeah, but I think I would actually yeah, so the soft skills are really, this is really fundamental. So if you don't bring the right attitude, you can be an excellent you can have like an excellent scientific background, excellent understanding, but you will not be successful.
Yeah, nice. And if we're kind of telling a story, so if I, as business leaders or anyone in a business, we've identified the talent, we've brought them into the team, we've seen something in them, and now it's also our responsibility to develop them. So when it comes to strategies to ensure development, what do you do? What's your
So I like to think of like we have three pillars here, right? So we
yeah.
have like the first pillar is supporting the individual in their career path. Then the second one is what can you do within a team and then a company scope, more on a team level to educate and to develop talent and data scientists. And then the third pillar I like to think of, okay, what is the role of the leader in terms of the role model. Um, yeah, maybe we talk first about supporting individuals and how we can do this. Of course,
Yeah.
there's also the leader is also required there, but not in terms so much as a role model, but more as a facilitator. So it's fundamental to set like clear expectations so that people understand what is expected of me in my current role, and what do I need to do to live up to expectations. So this needs to be clear. And then usually people have also the question, what if I want to go to the next level? What next levels are there? Are there different options? And if I want to move towards one of them, what are the expectations of that next level for me? And
Yeah.
in order to achieve this, you need to have clear from the company side a clear career progression framework to understand, okay, what are the different roles with the expectations there. And the role of the leader is actually to discuss with people, okay, what is this path? Where do I see you standing? And also listen, what do people think? Where do they stand, right?
Yeah.
Encourage them to get feedback from all sides so they have a clear understanding and also clear evidence what they're performing well, what they have development opportunities, and then ensure that there is a career path they can adhere to.
Yeah. Should this be in place before they join, or is this something that you work with them on?
So I think the framework itself ideally should exist in the company before they join. Depends on the state of your company, of course.
Yeah.
Right? Like for startups, you will not have something that mature in place. And but ideally, that should be there before. And also, when you hire someone, you should like align your expectations with the framework, post people in the where you think is the right fit to also ensure like that there's some fair standard.
Okay. So, what else can we be doing? So we're supporting them.
Yeah. So then once you have set the expectations, then a second crucial tool is like an individual development plan. So
Okay.
have conversations with face-to-face conversations with the data scientists. And understand first in a very open way what are they interested in, what are their intrinsic motivators, what do they want to learn, where do they want to grow. And that should be ideally totally independent from any career step they are aspiring first, right? But really first understanding, okay, what is it that really drives and motivates them. And then as a leader, identify, okay, how can I leverage this and how can I reconcile these interests maybe with the needs of the company? Is there a project where you could apply the specific algorithm? Is there a conference where maybe the person could speak and present? And then also tie it, of course, to the more formal career development and make sure, okay, if you do that, that might be next step here, and understand what is a good foreseen path for you here, and give clear feedback here. Be candid, but also supportive, and again, build on strength.
Nice.
Yeah. Then also give them room for trying something out, for developing new skills. What we do in SumUp is we have bi-weekly Hack Fridays, and the Hack Friday,
Okay.
this is for all engineering, not just the data scientists, but
Mhm.
people can dedicate to projects which are, of course, in some way relevant for the company, but not on the strict, not on the OKRs. There's no delivery or no immediate delivery expectation. So you're really free to try something out. Would it work? Could it create value? And this is for both, like for experimenting with new tools, new technologies. Just looking into some interesting question no one has had looked before, and many times good things comes out of both in terms of impact and in terms of personal development.
Oh wow! So every 2 weeks, Friday afternoon, playtime almost. There's a lot of
Fine. It's
yeah.
not playtime, so obviously you
No.
need to yeah, it is playtime and it isn't, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you consider playing in the sense that how children are playing, then they are learning a tremendous amount about playing. In that sense, it's absolutely playtime because you learn. But it's also about holding accountable. So you're definitely totally encouraged to try something out of your interest. But I would like to hear, okay, what were the outcome? What did you learn? And if there was not so much learning, just okay, it was not worth trying it out, that's also learning, but the learning has to be shared back. And ideally it should be tied to your larger development goals. So there should be some goal in the individual development plan, and your Hack Friday is in some way contributing to reaching that goal.
Nice. Like that a lot.
Yeah. Then also, last but not least, you also need to give the data scientists the opportunity to also learn from external resources, right? So ability, there may be some interesting courses you want to attend, some books you might want to read, some conferences you would like to go to, and ideally you support this with some form of learning budget, and also the ability to send to conferences. And we also have that at SumUp. So there is an individual learning budget and the opportunity to go to conferences. Also, people are encouraged to speak at conferences and then come and share back with the team, share back the learnings.
Nice. So with learning and development, if we dig deeper into that, what else can we be doing?
Yeah, so like the second pillar I was speaking about is like learning and development within the team. And then there's so one thing we do, we try to set up the teams in a cross-functional way. So that helps usually with faster delivery, with autonomy and with speed. But that means also that in the teams, maybe you don't have so many data scientists. So you need some way to align the data science talent in the company with each other. And in SumUp, we do this with, we call this data science chapter. So this is a forum where data scientists can meet and learn from each other. They can exchange best practices. They can come and ask their questions. They can come and find a mentor. So we pair them up for mentoring and learning, the more senior with the more junior ones. We invite internal and external speakers to ensure they stay on track with what is going on else in the world. This is also really an important aspect, right? To see what are other people doing, how are they approaching some problems, and also some problems which are not totally near to the problems you are considering yourself, but looking outside the box. Then on the team side as well, so we do have a company hack week with SumUp. So once a year, engineering and product is invited to go for a hack week, and then we work together on some projects which are innovative. We want to try something out, but in the end, deliver value to the company. That's an excellent opportunity also for learning and development, because you meet people from other teams here. You can learn how are other teams solving their problems, and you might, you will connect to people and learn and grow yourself.
It's like a melting pot of minds, almost.
It is, yeah. And again, more a bit from the leadership side is what is if you develop data science talent, we spoke already about that your team needs to be balanced, and you need to have the different skills present in the team. So from a leadership perspective, what can help you if you develop this team skill matrix, where you have like on the x-axis you have like the name of your data scientist, and on the y-axis you have the different skills that you need, and then some assessment, how much is how well do people know this and can contribute to this area. And then you can you can get some assessment, and you will find out, okay, here I might have a bottleneck. So if this person is sick or on holiday, or unfortunately will leave the team, we might have a problem. And like from a leadership perspective, looking at this, you might also understand, okay, we need development of skill A or B. So nudging people to start learning somewhere and to align and learn from their peers can be another way actually to foster learning and development.
So making sure there's some overlaps.
Yeah, for sure. So you don't want like this, we called it bus factor some time ago. So if one person is hit by the bus, you will have a major problem. Obviously, it's always a problem if someone's hit by the bus, but for team delivery, it shouldn't be a major problem.
So that's the kind of first two pillars. The third, final.
Yeah, this is thinking a bit of the role model of leadership, and I think two aspects are really really important here. So first one I would like to call vulnerable leadership. So that is I mean, it's crucial for a team and for the company to identify what we don't know. So where are we not certain? Where is it fuzzy and gray, and we actually have no clue? Because if we are, and this is actually the area where we need to ask and work together. So it's fundamentally important that the leadership says, "I don't understand this. I have no clue." Admitting openly, you might tell me more. I don't understand it. Help me understanding, putting the picture together and embracing that there, I mean, for every topic, there's an expert in the room who's better than you at this certain topic. And only by creating this atmosphere to be open and say, I have no clue how to solve this, please help me, you can encourage people to dive into this unknown fuzzy area where actually the problems are you need solving. If you stay like in the calm waters, you already know it's very easy, but you won't solve the relevant problems. So being a role model in that sense and embracing not knowing, embracing your own uncertainties. I think this is super important to steer the ship into the right direction. And the second aspect is creating psychological safety. So by holding blameless retrospectives, by having like an error culture, which is not finger pointing, but looking back and okay, what went wrong? How can we do better next time? And create this safety that you can openly admit and openly look back at failures. How can we prevent the failures? And creating an atmosphere where people also feel safe to be challenged, because if you're not psychologically safe, you don't feel safe. You cannot, you're not open to be challenged and give your best. And if you create this safety atmosphere and then start challenging, you will get into the high performance space.
Yeah, you're kind of setting up an environment that's not a blame culture, but learning, understanding, being held accountable, and being happy to do so.
I mean, each mistake is an opportunity to learn from, and not only your own opportunity, but everyone else's opportunity as well.
Yeah.
And
and if you're learning from everyone else's mistakes, your learning rises exponentially.
Exactly.
So,
and lastly, I mean, we already spoke about this in the beginning, but embracing diversity again is helping to create this atmosphere, because if we are diverse, we're bringing very different understanding. There's it's easier to navigate the areas we don't know, because maybe there's someone who knows a bit already.
Yeah, someone's probably maybe been through it before. They've had a different backstory, different environment. So much opportunity to facilitate. So as the story moves along, we've identified, we've developed. We never know, because it's the future. If we look back 5 years to today, we wouldn't expect to be where we are. The future of data science, to round us off, where do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, prediction is hard, specifically when it concerns the future, right? I know it's attributed to Churchill, but I don't know who actually said that quote. There are different different claims of that quote, but this is for sure true. But what we can observe already, like now, is I mean, obviously we need to mention the rise of large language models, which is revolutionizing like many areas of business, and with chatbots and for example, right? And like introduction of large language models is changing how data scientists work, because usually these models, they are not developed in-house, but you use them as an external service. So the skills we need now is integrating them with our services, adapting them to our needs, evaluating and safeguarding the output, ensuring we are not we are meeting ethical standards here. We're not going wild somewhere. So this changes the job of the data scientists if they're going to do this. And what we see, and every what we see again, like the soft skills, like being change resilient, being open-minded, having a growth mindset. These are exactly the skills which will help you navigating this uncertainty. So if you have hired right, the data scientist with this right can-do problem solving, growth mindset attitude, they will be up for the job as well.
Amazing. So if you identify the right talent and support them in the right way, then the future shouldn't be an issue. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking and conscious of time. So gonna wrap it up. Where can people continue to keep up with your thoughts and ideas? What are you excited about coming up this year, and where can people find you?
I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to accept connections and get in touch, discuss data science, machine learning problems with you. I'm excited. So personally, I'm excited. We are going to have Hack Week and Sum Up in September. I'm excited about this one, and obviously also about upcoming summer vacation.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, Elisabeth, thank you for joining us and sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. And to the listeners, ciao for now.
Bye.